Be live. We're going to answer the question immediately. How bad can mold be? And should you be concerned about it? The answer is yes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my experience. And hopefully, we don't get too redundant with the information because the awareness about mold, mycotoxins, and how bad they can be needs to be brought up as often as possible. So we talk about it at least once a month on this channel. So my story would be that previously I was sick. I didn't have a sense of smell, and I wasn't aware that we had a mold issue. And if we fast forward just a little bit more into the story, we started getting pretty sick where I had digestion problems, upset stomach, a lot of disorientation, dizziness. But my first real symptom would have been my memory. And I thought that, I don't know what I thought I had, but what I wound up kind of self-diagnosing was that, I always knew I had ADHD. But it got really, really bad the more that I was, exposed to mold. And it really didn't get any better. And it still hasn't really gotten any better. But ADHD was going to kind of be one of my first sort of symptoms here. I washed my car keys probably more times than I'd like to admit to you because I had to keep rebuying. I'm going to load YouTube on this phone here and read your comments. So that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to load my YouTube so I can see what you guys are saying because the camera's over here. So the second time that I washed my car keys, I thought, okay, something's got to be done. So, that's when we got on medication for opinions on Hercules Power Tools. Never really tried it, man. I was in the field professionally for 10 plus years in the same company. So never really gave him a chance. Never really thought that it was going to be something that was really worth me trying to figure out, is this good or bad? We went from Makita to Milwaukee. And once I got this YouTube channel, I kind of started messing with the DeWalt's when the Power Stacks came out, and they are fantastic. And then Flex came along. So that's kind of my experience there. I'm so happy to see that you still have the whiteboard. Yeah, man. So, also got a whole TV thing going on over here too. So, yeah, pretty much it's an underrated problem that not a lot of people know about. I'm going to use this Metabo here to hold my phone so I can see the chat. Sweet. So let's talk about what happened. I started to notice that I was getting more tired and I was having trouble staying awake. And even while I was trying to write up like issues that I found in the field, because I'm an electrical inspector. So I'm trying to write up like what I've found, and I'm sitting there on the iPad. I'm literally falling asleep while I'm trying to write up reports. You should give them some testing, 5-year warranty. All of their tools have been getting a lot more competitive. Yeah, that's true, man. I don't have anything against really any tool brand. For the price and the warranty and what you're going to get, it does make sense. This tool channel is more for professionals, for electricians. And the only reason why we're talking about mold tonight is because my personal experiences and how it completely destroyed my life. So I got to bring awareness to that. What's up, Air Gaming? So let me get the chat going here. Hang on. Should be a button I can push here. Where is it? Is it this one? Chat filter. We noted what's going on here. Hang on a second. I lost my monitor here. Hang on. Hello? Are we good? I guess we're good. Sorry about that. So I noticed that I was getting sleepier and I couldn't even stay awake. Shortly after that, I realized that my stomach was like starting to not be able to digest food great, and it was getting very uncomfortable. Also, I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't even edit a video. So a lot of people ask me, why did Tools with Souls pass you? Which is the guy that, we do a lot of lives together and stuff and interact, and we actually met each other not that long ago. Because we were like neck and neck, and some days I was up and some days he was up, and we were, I got so sick to where I just couldn't keep up with the editing or anything. So that's what happened there. But I couldn't even stay awake to edit a video. It would take me about 3 or 4 days for what would take me a regular 4 hours to edit. So we just couldn't even keep up with life. What's up, Budsville? So I'm going to kind of try to tell you some more story that you guys haven't heard before, because I don't want to bore you with the same old. But I do want to kind of hit the highlights, which would be that I pretty much had to restart life, throw away everything that I've ever owned. It can't be cleaned. So the mycotoxins that I had was trichothezene, trichothezene or something like that. Look it up. 500 degrees for 30 minutes is what destroys this. So the stuff, it can't be killed. And the stuff that, if it could, the stuff wouldn't be usable. Let's put it that way. So recently I bought some periacetic acid, which is, it's vinegar and peroxide mixed. And it came in a box with, protective kind of, like kitty litter in case it spilled. Well, it did spill. And it kind of like gassed the garage to a point where I'm glad I didn't try to use it, because I was like, do I want to use this stuff? Seems kind of volatile. I was on vacation when this stuff busted, and it just created like a cloud of gas in the garage. So I'm glad I didn't put it in my Mustang, because I probably wouldn't have a Mustang. So that's the only stuff that I haven't tried. Somebody told me I should try to put peroxide in a steam cleaner. That might be a good idea. We've tried steam cleaning. I've had that car professionally detailed like 3 or 4 times now. Do I like Ryobi? Yeah, I do like Ryobi. I like Ryobi because it gives you tools that no one else will make at an affordable price that do an okay job. Do I like Ryobi professionally? Not really. For the price and what you can get these Metabos on sale. You can get a drill and an impact and 2 batteries for like $60 sometimes. So it's really hard to justify power tools for Ryobi. All steamers aren't built the same. Dry steam works amazing. Pretty much whatever I run. So I'll tell you the story, right? This is how I found out that I had a mold problem. So I finally get the surgery because my gallbladder has completely failed. And every time that I encounter this mold, my stomach rolls up in knots, right? It just feels like a constant stitch, but like really, really bad. And I got to go take a nap instantly. And also got to go take a crap. So there's that bit of information. So when I come in contact with something that's contaminated, I've got 0 tolerance. And that's pretty much how my life was for probably about 4 or 5 months before we kind of figured out what was going on. So just before Halloween, all the way until after New Year's is when my surgery was. So from Halloween to just after New Year's is me being miserable. Right after surgery, I kind of noticed that I was starting to get my sense of smell back. And that's when I kind of knew that something was wrong with the house. And there's also like different textures of air, and I could kind of tell something was up, but I didn't really know what it was. And I'm laying there in bed recovering from surgery, and I feel like I'm suffocating while I'm sleeping. And I wake up in a panic, my heart be going like 100 miles an hour. And I just wake up in a panic, but I didn't really know what was going on. So we fast forward another week, and I'm starting to get vertigo like crazy. Even though I'm supposed to be recovering from surgery, I was in the room for 2 weeks straight. So instead of being miserable, doing my inspections, leaving the office early because I was just dying literally, and then going back home to just sleep the rest of the day away so I could wake up and then do it again. I did that for like 4 or 5 months. I was in the room every day, all day for 24 hours. And it really started taking a toll because these mycotoxins we're like a 5-gallon bucket. And the rate that we get rid of the toxins, you could say, is like a pinhole. And the mycotoxins are filling up our 5-gallon bucket. So we can get rid of them very slowly. But as we accumulate them quicker, we're going to eventually fill up to where our body just can't take it anymore. So normal people can not really affected by mycotoxins until you get to a very large amount. We wound up being about 7 times over the limit. So we start getting like vertigo really, really bad and not really sure what's going on. So we start buying these. The spores do look like white dust. So yeah, and it stores in dust. So I've talked to a lot of professionals on this. I've even been seeing a doctor that specializes in mycotoxins and chemicals and stuff. What is doohickeys and thingamabobs? I don't know. Hang on. What thumbnail did I put on here? Because I do have a thumbnail that says that. So anyway, we start, trying to figure out what's going on. So I buy these air purifiers, and my air purifiers also had a readout on the percentage of oxygen. So we start seeing that they start diving down to the reds and the oranges. So we're like, okay, well this obviously isn't good. Let's go to the garage. So we pretty much spend the night in the garage, and we start figuring out what are we going to do. So we really go to Walmart, we buy tents, and we're just in the garage for like a week or two, trying to figure out what's going on with the house. And the garage had a separate air conditioner. So we decide that we're going to move out of our bedroom because that's where the air is the worst. That's where I feel the worst. And we go to the other side of the house, and we're working in the bedroom, trying to remove walls and trying to find whatever we're looking for. We don't even really know what we're looking for, but we're figuring it's mold. And long story short, at this point, I'm so sick that I can't even function. I mean, I barely woke up that morning. I pretty much just thought I was going to die. Literally. Told my wife, she goes to work. I'm just going to be here and probably dead when she gets home. So it was starting to get pretty bad. So she's got the recip saw and she's tearing apart the closet. And we're in the other side of the house. So I go home in between, go home early. And I decided I'm going to go to Home Depot and start buying plastic off these walls. So I plasticked off the closet wall. I plasticked off the bedroom wall with Gorilla Tape, like just the craziest scenario you can imagine in your own house is just the definition of insanity, right? So all these thresholds and all this stuff is like, and like leave out openings and just all the doorways. We've got like 7 different walls of plastic all the way to this bedroom. And we messed up, man. We brought the air purifier that we had in that bedroom we're working in into the room that we sealed off. And that's when we kind of found out that this stuff is completely airborne. It gets in anything that you run. So a lot of people said just use an ozone machine. It's going to grab that air and store it in that ozone machine and then put it off somewhere else. So if I do use an ozone machine, it's pretty much trash. So before you go letting somebody borrow your ozone machine, one, don't, because they could possibly contaminate it. Like, you don't understand how crazy this stuff can be. So there's that, right? But yeah, so we figure out that we pretty much just contaminated the whole house at this point. And we start realizing that we got to throw away our clothes and just restart everything. Glad I was able to live through this struggle over the past year and see this man and his family nearly in the clear now. Glad I wasn't around it, but glad I could help as little as it was. Yeah, man. Definitely somewhat therapeutic talking to you guys about what was going on. Definitely didn't feel alone in it, even though I was just in my own little insanity bubble going on. But no, this stuff is really bad. And now I'm like permanently kind of genetically altered because of the mycotoxins. That's what they do. They bind to your DNA, much like C19 does. And we're just like overly chemically sensitive to everything now, which is pretty crazy. So hopefully anybody that's looking at this, how bad is mold, what's going on, don't take it lightly. If you feel like what's up, Pop? If you feel like you're, extra sleepy or you've got unexplained kind of stomach issues, digestive things going on, you feel like you got different textures of air in your house, you feel like you're suffocating. Well, this channel's about tools and electrician knowledge, code, and know-how. But I was personally affected by mold in probably the worst way possible, the worst way that I know of. That pretty much when I went to go get tested, the doctor was really doubting on how bad I was. And then when I finally got my test results, the doctor was trying to break it to me lightly, like, hey man, this is really bad, He pretty much told me that he's never seen anybody alive with the levels that I have. So take that however you want to take that. It was pretty bad. So I went to a doctor in Richardson in Texas, North Texas, and it's called Johnson Medical, and they use my labs to do the testing. So if you go to my labs, you might be able to kind of skip the whole doctor thing and just maybe they'll do like a urine test for mycotoxins. But they run a panel of different toxins. What's up, Sayer? And it's not like a Spider-Man thing. Mold is no joke. I was just happy I caught him in time. And we stuck it out with you. And little tool destroyers. Yeah, man. So an endocrinologist, I don't know exactly what he is. He's just a chemical doctor. So whenever I started realizing that I was like environmentally kind of allergic to everything, because this alters you. So I never had allergies before. I never had a runny nose because of the weather. My throat never hurt. I mean, my throat hurt. When did we move? We moved in September last year. That's when we moved here. My throat only just stopped hurting from being out of the mold. And my doctor pretty much told me that it was going to take about 2 years to fully detox off of this. And I think I was legitimately sick, and all the girls were sick, and everyone was sick in the house on and off until very recently. Like we just couldn't stop getting sick because our immune system was so down. It was like someone was sick and we were just taking turns. Until I'm trying to think of a holiday, right? Because that would be a good like timestamp. Even Easter, we were sick, and that was like right around the corner, or just around the corner. A couple months ago. So that's how long it took to not be sick. Like we finally are like maybe getting over this a little bit. I'm definitely getting more tolerable in my own air of my car. Let me see here. What type of toxin? What type of toxin? Toxologist, yeah. Let me see here. I build circuits like the Wimhurst machine. That's pretty cool. Insurance didn't cover anything, man. They accused me of trying to flip a remodel on their dime. I wound up with 3 different inspections. The first one that I called, I realized, that we had some a roof leak, but we had shingles above our attic. So in the attic, you were standing on shingles, and hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, good setup. We had shingles in the attic, and then we had a roof above that. So that's one good reason why you don't want to just roof over another roof, right? Because if the top roof leaks, the bottom roof won't. You're better off seeing water damage on your sheetrock and knowing that you're collecting water, so you can get the hell out. So I look at roof leaks a lot more differently now. My first thought would be just, you look at all over the U.S. with how many storms we've had. A lot of people might still feel this way because I've been a homeowner since 2011. I've had 3 different houses. When I see a storm, I think, okay, insurance is going to take care of them. But the longer that I've, owned a house and been an inspector and seen how things work, it's a bad situation, man. Nothing's ever going to be the same, and especially with me, I need a new house. Like I flat out couldn't stay there. I'm so chemically sensitive to everything that if I did have another roof leak and it got really bad, I don't even know if I could even try to salvage anything. I would probably just have to move again. I'd have to sell the freaking house and go somewhere that had never been wet. But yeah, man, we weren't sure if we're going to sell the house. We had an investor. He was looking, we had a very, very nice house in a very, very nice area with solar was already paid off. We had water softener. We had a lot of good things going with the house, and we had to just throw it all away, man. So I told this investor I was going to sell the house, and then I told him that I wasn't, and then I said I was, and then I wasn't, and I was like in between contracts and breaking contracts, and the dude luckily didn't punish me for breaking contracts, but I went back and forth with this guy before I finally sold him the house. And what made me decide to sell the house, we had a car that got contaminated, and it had a brand new engine in it. It was a Ford Edge. The engine has internal cooling pump in it, so there's no indicator that the pump has failed, or leaking, and it just locked up one day. And I've got an aftermarket warranty, and it actually covered it. And they rebuilt the whole. Actually, they were trying to rebuild the engine, and then they messed up really bad. And then they just put a brand new crate engine in it from the factory. Like they were supposed to get a used one, they got a used one, and then they broke the used one. They cross-threaded something, and then it was going to be another week. So they're like, screw it, we're just going to give you a new engine. So I had a car with a brand new engine in it, right? And I'm fixing to sell this car, which, you should never do, but it was just really bad. We haven't driven the car in like 6 months. So I'm going to drive it down to the dealership. I'm only going to get like $3,000 for this car, right? Never going to gain money back for it. And I pull up to the gas station, and I forget, like, the car's even on. Like, it's so freaking smooth. I'm like, oh crap, the car's on, It's a V6. And so I turn the car off. I fill the gas up. I'm thinking to myself, I really don't want to sell this thing, man. It's so smooth. And then halfway through the drive, we're like suffocating because of the air in this car. And we're thinking, man, I can't wait to sell this car. Like the whole mood just changed because you literally can't even breathe in your own air. You're just suffocating in your own environment. So it's just been a really, really crazy situation. Let's see here. We got another tools and tactics in here. It's interesting. Kansas. I always build my homes with secret roofs under and over roofs with multiple pitches and valleys. Keeps the homeowners guessing. Yeah, it sure does. Yeah, hit that like button. YouTube, hit the like button. I'm looking at YouTube right now. I can't even find the like button. It's so crazy. You got to hit those 3 dots at the top right of your screen to find like. YouTube's crazy. Anyway, so we literally have. Yeah, and then the kid got sick right after that drive, like really sick, and continued to stay sensitive to stuff. So that was kind of the turning point. Was after we drove in that car for just 15 minutes. It just changed the whole course of everything. More susceptibility, I guess you would say, more sensitive to it, less tolerance, more mycotoxin intake. At the beach in your motorhome, bringing my kids on a little vacation. That's cool. Can I get a shout out, please? I really want to make an impact with my music. It's Noah Carr. Nice. Shout out to Noah Carr. So, no worries. Anyway, yeah, so we're supposed to meet, Robert Walton's in the chat. So we're supposed to meet Robert Walton to go out to lunch, right? And I think it's Saturday or maybe it's Sunday. I don't even know what day it was. And we wake up at like 1:30, and we're supposed to be there 1:30. And we never really wake up that late ever. So we're late to meet Robert for the first time, right? So we get there, and I'm trying to tell him this stupid excuse about how we overslept. And then we eat, and everything's cool. And we get back to the house. Now, keep in mind, we just woke up at 1:30, in the afternoon. And we just ate, and we all go back home. I'm working in the shop doing YouTube, whatever. Wife sitting on the couch, and the little girl's in bed sleeping. Tired, and I already knew what it meant because I kind of figured everything out the hard way about what this mold does to you. So I told my wife, I pulled her into the garage, and I told her, I was like, we got to sell this house, Um, I'm done playing with it. That was the final straw. So I called that guy the next morning, Monday. Said, all right, I guess I'll sell this house. So in the process of selling it, we're literally renting while we own another house. So we're paying two mortgages at the same time. Just trying to survive. We haven't even sold the house yet, and we're not even living in it. We're just using it as storage. The dogs had a place to be. And meanwhile, my dogs are dying with, mold toxicity. And it's crazy, man. I'd like to read you guys off the mold, which means I'm going to be pulling off the chat here. Hang on. What's up, South Florida Tools? All right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pull up this email here. Hopefully I don't dox myself. That'd be terrible. I'll read you off the toxin panel. So what they're looking for is aflatoxin, B1, B2, G1, and G2. Orthotoxin A, serotoxin G, H, isoteroxin F, and then roridin A, E, H, L2, veracruzin A, veracruzin J, geotoxin, and zerolone. Now, what they do, the aflatoxin binds DNA and proteins, and aflatoxins cause cancer, inhibits DNA replication, shortness of breath, weight loss, most potent and highly carcinogenic, fetal growth, impairs, primarily attacks liver and other organs, including kidneys, lungs, gallbladder, affects the liver and kidneys, cancer, malnutrition, and lung cancer. So that's just aflatoxin. Orthotoxin inhibits mitochondrial. It's a potent pterogen and immunosuppressor, which is what we dealt with. And then its symptoms are fatigue, irritable bowel. And then you got the serotoxins, which is protein synthesis and inhibition, DNA and RNA, protein inhibition, fatigue, weakened immune system, a lot of that. Lung and nasal, olfactory problems, breathing issues, bleeding disorders, nervous system disorders. And then you got geotoxin, which attacks intercellular function and immune system, memory and breathing issues, immune dysfunction disorders. And then you got zerolone, which is an estrogen mimic, which is really bad for women to have that, especially when they're young. A lot of types of cancers and stuff with that. Early puberty, low sperm counts, and cancer, and then just flat out cancer. So I'm reading this off like this. This is what I'm. And that's directly from the doctor. Now, what my levels were. These were my levels. So the orthotoxin, if it's not present, you got a 1.8. Anything over 1.8 is a problem. We were at a 7.2, 7.02, 700. The aflatoxin, it's not present if it's a 0.8. And we were at a 0.87, 600. The trichothazine, which is pretty persistent stuff. It's not present if it's a 0.07. And we were at a 0.28, 200. So 0.07 versus 0.2. That was what we were. And then the Gia toxin, it's not present if it's 0.5, and we were at a 2.7. And the Zerolone is 0.5, and we were at a 1.14700. That's kind of the thresholds there. That trichothazine, man, it's very persistent. I can't destroy it. I've tried. I poured just straight bleach into a glass dish and pressure washed it and scrubbed it with a stiff broom and let it sit in the sun after it's dried. I can't. It doesn't disappear. Like it just gets in everything porous. Like the glass loves rubber. I can't escape it, and it's in everything, right? So you can have trichothazine just at Walmart, just in the clothes or whatever. You guys wouldn't even know, but I can't walk through Walmart without my throat hurting. There's just a lot of these mycotoxins in everything. And if you went to my house here, you would think that I lived in a freaking clean room because that's the way it has to be. So, if you're questioning, how bad is mold, it depends what level you have and what types of mold. So what the doctor explained to me was what the internet told me pretty much. I had already done a lot of research before we kind of got to this state. But when you get multiple molds in the same area, this mold's trying to destroy this mold and it uses mycotoxins to do it. So it's like chemical warfare. And we're kind of in the middle of it. And then once you get so many toxins into your system, it starts really, really jacking you up. So all that stuff now is what they call CIRS. So if you're wondering, how bad is it? Is there a diagnosis for it or anything? There is now, fortunately, very new. And if we look at CIRS symptoms, and this is like very, very new information. It's a chronic inflammatory response syndrome. CIRS is a progressive multi-symptom illness that can affect nearly every organ and become debilitating if left untreated. It's caused by exposure to biotoxins and is most commonly toxic mold in water-damaged buildings. Other causes include tick-borne infections, environmental toxins, diet, epigenetics, trauma, and PTSD. CIRS has many symptoms, including cognitive difficulties, brain fog, memory loss, mood disorders, loss of execution function, difficulty learning new information, and trouble concentrating. The physical symptoms are fatigue, weakness, body aches, muscle cramps, joint pain, morning stiffness, headaches, light sensitivity, red eyes, blurred vision, tearing, sinus problems, cough, shortness of breath, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and frequent urination. That's also something that I had as well. Whereas I was almost like actually pissing myself. Like it was like an emergency. If I had to use the restroom, like I had to go like then, which was pretty new. So I remember having that issue too. Other symptoms: skin sensitivity, mood swings, sweats, temperature. Definitely mood swings. You can ask my wife, man. It's been a crazy ride, and she stuck it out. So it's kind of cool. Temperature regulation, excessive thirst, static shocks, numbness, tingling, vertigo, dizziness, a metallic taste in my mouth. What I don't see on here, which I have, is like a heat on my breath, almost like I'm drinking like 80 proof alcohol. When you breathe out, you can kind of like have that heat on your breath or in your throat. My throat hurt for, 8 months straight. Like a burn, like very uncomfortable. Yeah. And if I get in contact with it, it's the same thing, tiredness, all that stuff. So there's the symptoms here. Let me see if I can bring it up. That's it all there. But it's CIRS. And yeah, so if you've got any of those symptoms or okay, let's see what the chat says. See if I missed anything up. Except for the piss part, not bad. I gotta go. All right, man. We'll catch you later. Appreciate you being here. So, yeah, it's a pretty bad thing. It can be pretty bad. I've been in houses where, let's see here. Oh, not worry. I'll be protected by. Yeah, exactly. Just get a Makita. You'll be fine. So, yeah, to sum it up, should you be concerned about mold? It depends how bad it is. I've talked to a lot of people just kind of out in the field. I go to 20 different job sites, and I don't talk about everybody, but if I go to a site that I know is going to be disorientating, because if I get in contact with it, sometimes it's hard to walk straight down the hallway. Like I've got zero tolerance for this stuff now. It affects me instantly. I'll try to explain to the guy, that I'm walking with or the house. It's like, if I'm acting weird or if I flat out don't want to go in this house, I'll kind of explain what's going on. And I can kind of tell what's going on with the house before I even, get halfway in to the first room. I already know whether or not the house is going to affect me. So if you're noticing when you leave your house that you've got a clearer head, maybe your stomach stops hurting, you're less dizzy, things like that. That's stuff to look out for sure. Chances are, if your house is contaminated, your clothes are contaminated too. So wherever you're going or whatever your plan is, just know that you kind of can't take anything with you. And yeah, it's so life altering, right? I pulled my wife to the side when I first decided we're going to sell the house, and I pretty much told her, I was like, we can't take anything with us. So I can go back in there, and I can just die. You can get the life insurance, and you can do whatever you want. Because no one else really seems to be affected by it, and I'm feeling pretty crazy right now. Or, we're fixing to turn this whole everything we know upside down, because we got to rebuy everything, and we can't take anything with us, and we didn't even have the money to do that. Obviously, nobody does. We spent over $200,000 cash just rebuying everything. Not including rebuying a house. So my advice would be that if you do kind of coming to that conclusion where you're thinking you're not sure what you're going to do, go to a hotel, go buy new clothes, and stay there for a couple of days and see if things get better. But don't bring your old clothes to the hotel because you'll contaminate that room that quickly. Almost instantly. What's up, Rodney? It's so easy to recontaminate stuff. It's actually unreal. How easy it is. So yeah, you pretty much, if you feel like you want to know what your next step should be, it all kind of has to happen at the same time. You have to have enough money to get out, rebuy what you need, including a car, and just leave it all behind. And if you can't do that, man, I don't know what you're gonna do, because you're going to be sick for almost a year, to where you still feel like everything is contaminated, even though you're no longer in a contaminated area. So we recontaminated the apartment while we were living there, in between this house and that house. And thank God we did, man, because we spent probably about $5,000 on stuff for the apartment, clothes, computers. We had to rebuy computers. Joshua Wilson actually bought me my computers. I'm very generous, and we actually contaminated them, and I had to return them back to Best Buy and get different computers, which is pretty crazy. But fortunately, they were still within like the 30-day return window or whatever the heck. So it just kind of worked out. But it's I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's just been a really, really crazy ride. So yeah, you got to have enough mental fatigue, enough mental what do you want to call it? It takes a lot of will to continue to go on. I guess that's what I would say. It takes a lot of persistence and determination to make it out alive with this. Most people just die. And I almost died probably about 6 or 7 times. So just know what you're going to be dealing with, and know what to expect. And what to expect is that you're going to be sick for almost a year. Your throat's probably going to burn for 8 months straight, even though you're in an okay environment. You're going to recontaminate stuff, so expect to rebuy stuff. And the biggest thing, though, is kind of knowing the symptoms and what's going on. And your first step, if this is you and you're trying to figure out what are you going to do, you just got to get out of the house and do something. You got to go somewhere that's not contaminated. You got to buy new clothes. You can't use trash bags. They don't seal enough. So you got to use like Ziploc bags, I think, kind of seal enough. But not enough to keep them in the house. So if you're trying to bag anything, it doesn't matter how many trash bags you use. I've wrapped things not with 9 trash bags. Black trash bags don't hold anything. The kitchen trash bags hold better. So you can possibly seal it up with an actual kitchen trash bag, like double bag it. No, it's not OCD. This is mold and mycotoxins. I had mycotoxin killers on payroll. Yeah. So yeah, it just sounds crazy at this point. It is serious stuff. I feel crazy talking about it. Yeah, I don't know how to stop smiling. It's so bad. Yeah, I know, Casey Jones. There's mold everywhere. My throat hurts pretty much everywhere I go still. And not all mold is bad, but the black mold can get you. The toxins are really bad. And then I'm chemically sensitive to everything. Like my wife put like an eighth of a cap, like this much pine sol into the mop water. And I couldn't even be inside the house. Like I've got zero tolerance for anything chemical anymore. So you're not going to know if you got mold or if you got cleaning products or what you got. Like it's just it's really maddening. Bleach actually does hurt your lungs. Yeah. That's probably where a lot of my damage is probably trying to clean stuff. PPP only goes so far. Bleach is pretty rough. I agree. In close quarters. when I had C19, I had no sense of smell, and there was one room that we were cleaning out, and I didn't even know like that it was that bad. Like I poured some bleach and I was scrubbing, but I didn't even know that there was fumes, And my wife came home and she was like all concerned. It's like I can't even smell what you're talking about. So that's probably part of my problem too. But the attic overwelded galvanized steel. No, but I have cut it. So even just cutting it with a recip saw or a bandsaw, and then because the pipe is 4 inches, so you got 4 inch conduit because as an electrician I ran like very big wire, so the pipe's like this big, and then you cut it, and then you go to put the coupling on, you get a width of that like through the whole pipe. Uh, that's pretty bad too. So yeah, galvanized steel will mess you up too. Not near as bad as welding, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Uh, can you order a barbacoa burrito with extra queso, please? I wish you could, man. That'd be great. For sure, anything to drink. That's great. So, yeah, once a month, man, we're gonna talk about this. I don't want to just drag it in the ground with what I've been going through. Try to, add different things to the story and the experience. But we what do we have, like 32 or 33,000 subs now? Not everyone's heard what's going on. And then there's people that are searching for this stuff. So I'll get a lot of comments after this within the next couple of weeks that'll be asking about mold and different things. So any way that we can help somebody, because whenever I started going through this, man, there was nothing on YouTube. I would, say, hey, how bad is mold? And everyone would be like, depends who you are. It depends on your sensitivity. Like nobody wanted to actually talk about their experiences and how bad it is. And, what do you need to do? Like I would say, can I keep this stuff? And the internet will say, well, some stuff can be cleaned. If it's porous, it needs to go. But they weren't like, really descriptive on how bad it could be. It's like, okay, well, I guess I can keep some stuff, right? Well, the answer is no. You're just going to recontaminate your stuff. I even had like people that were in the restoration kind of team tell me about how they were cleaning some stuff. But the answer is, if you are sensitive to the point that I am, you can't keep anything because it might not even be contaminated. Like it might not even be actually killing you, but it's going to affect you. That's where my car is right now. If my car is on circulation, I can't breathe. My throat hurts, Um, but I know that it's just because of the circulation, where it's the same air being recycled. It's not fresh air coming in. Zeros given the people legitimately said that their plans for the future are to travel the world on a scooter to make sure they aren't destroying the world, not to work. Just a scoot. Kansas says everything is porous to an extent. The crap you struggled with stuck to every surface. Didn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. The trichothazine, which is what we had like 7 times more than we should. The internet says it takes 500 degrees for 30 minutes to destroy it. So if you get your panel back, by the way, that test is like $500. If you get your panel back and you've got trichothazine, kiss all your shit goodbye. Like I'm serious. Like don't even try. If you've got high levels of trichothazine in your blood, like I do, you're never going to be the same for all intents and purposes of 2 years. I mean, I've got stuff in the shed. We built a shed and put a whole bunch of stuff in it, and it's like stuff from my childhood. It's like all my kids' Lego, all my kids' toys. I think I've got like all my regular NES games. I got my Super Nintendo in there. Got like 100 NES games. I've even got like the gold Zelda. It's like, $1,000. I've got like 70 Super Nintendo games in there. I've got like 50 64 games in there and the 64, and got all that stuff in that shed, man. And I can't even go in the shed. Like I can't even breathe in the shed. It's all freaking trash. And whatever wasn't trash that I put in that shed is probably now trash. So yeah, you can't take anything with you. Vegan tofu. Yeah, the soy farts, exactly. That is exactly right. All right, well, welcome to California. Yeah, exactly. So, had you guys seen the new layout? I'll show you guys the layout of the studio now, and then we'll get out of here. Hang on. Still got to put that one. I still got to put that one piece of wood there for the paneling, but we got the edge kind of accent light going on in there. Then we got an orange LED wraparound. We got 2 red LEDs. One's hiding behind the TV for some splash, and then this one's facing the other way. I messed that up. Then we got the TV, of course, that was doing the tools and tactics thing. Laptop, there's the wall safe. There's the softbox. That's what the phone was attached to. I bought these really cool panels. I was messing with tools earlier, so they messed up, but got some pretty cool effects going on. Not all the lights are in yet, but yeah, once we get it all kind of, up there, it'll look like this once it's done, which should be pretty cool. So anyway, we bought this. Is that the big one? Oh, that's the small one. Picked up the 12-incher. And this thing here is fantastic, man. This is one of those tools you want to buy it before you need it. If not, you're going to go to Home Depot. Seriously, I'm going to appreciate it. You're going to go to Home Depot, man, and you're going to buy the 4040s or the 4060s or whatever they are. The 460s from Channel Lock. Because you're having to run 1.5 inch or a 2-inch, and you're just going to regret it. Like, you need to get these before you need them. That way you're not making a bad purchase. They're $55 on Amazon. And then that's the Grizzly light. Rodney, check out the Grizzly light. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. It's one thing to catch it early, but you're like stage 4 and trying to learn what might clean what. You need to sell the stuff that's worth big money. Man, I don't even have time to sell stuff. Yeah, he showed this Warzone the other night. It's in the cabinet, still having the mycotoxins on the metal. It collects in the dust. So my doctor pretty much told me that the more you clean, you know, you got dog fur or whatever you got, just dust in general, just dirt, the toxins get on there. So as you clean your house, I'll be able to breathe better pretty much. And that's helped a lot. So just the information, but it's kind of crazy when your doctor's literally telling you to pour, you know, acetone on your freaking belongings to try to kill these toxins. Like it's just a crazy conversation when the doctor's telling you, you know, pour acid on your stuff. Oh yeah, the video on the aquarium, maybe. Knives are for sure. I was so happy when you sent those comfort grips. I have some but never use them because they're pretty. Now I can use the ones you sent. They were already used. Nice. Well, that's about all I got, man. Just we'll probably do this once per month. I got a video gonna compare these two at some point. I don't know how interesting it's gonna be, but this is that DeWalt pouch at Lowe's. It's a really, really nice leather pouch. Harbor Freight has one very similar for 20 bucks. And this is kind of my do everything around the house pouch. But yeah, appreciate all the support. Yeah, Lowe's. Once per month is a nice update schedule. Yeah, well, I'll update you guys on the channel. You do need it, Josh. It's a good pouch, man. Now you make me want to show you more about it because it's an awesome pouch. Hang on. Look, I'll do something for you, Josh. Hang on. Okay, so this is the tool pouch from Harbor Freight, right? Very, very similar. Thinner leather, 20 bucks though, right? Thinner leather. Got a pouch here. You can see how deep they are. Not too bad. So you can't fit a full-size square. The back pouch goes fairly deep. The loop is leather. All in all, for 20 bucks, not too bad. Let's look at the DeWalt, because the DeWalt, I can't remember how much it is. First off, it's got the DeWalt on it. I'm turning the light. Oh, I still got glare. Got the DeWalt on it. The pouch is a lot deeper. Leather definitely looks a lot better. These are deeper here. That's metal. Thicker leather. One of the most notable things here, the belt. The tape measure loop on there. It's actually a really, really nice pouch. These go all the way down. There's a four pockets here. This can disappear in any one of these pouches. Yeah, it's a really, really nice pouch. Lowe's has that. So nice. Let me show you the speed square because I know you're curious. Screw definitely fits a lot better. Working one-handed here. Something in there. Hang on, let me just put this. There we go. Let me see how deep it is. Best part about these right here, right? If you push this too far down and you think you can't reach it, you can reach in there and shove it back up. And you've got a legitimate pencil loop there. And then this kind of expands out, so see if it fits a level. No, we'll break it. I don't want to do that. Ah, actually, it might go. It will go if I wanted it to. Yeah. Yeah, so that's how thick that is. That's actually pretty decent. I'd have to look it up, man. When I see something this nice, I usually don't worry about the price because you got to remember the Vitos are $100. So I would say I probably spent about 80 on it, my guess, but it's probably closer to 60. But I'd spend 100 on this. It's leather. It'll last forever. And then the more you use it, the softer it'll get. To where it just contours to your whole body. Yeah, the hammer goes here. It's a really, really nice pouch. I could put every tool from that Vito in here if I wanted to. We could pretty much put the whole freaking Vito pouch in here if we wanted to. Honestly. Like, this is how nice this is. I'm gonna show you. Because now you've got your whole Vito in here, right? And then you still got a whole material bag. Like, it doesn't get any better than this pouch. It really doesn't. Because now you can put your whole impact here. That might be too big. That's going to be too big. No, this has got to be one of the best pouches that I've seen in a long time. The fact you can get this whole Vito in there, I mean, it's a done deal, dude. This is probably the best reason all night to sub to this channel, actually. This thing's gonna weigh like 100 pounds. It fits so much, man. It fits so much. That's wild. All right. Okay. Toast says electrician. Yeah. What's up, Toast? What brand is it? It's DeWalt. Pack your 860 while watching the other 860. The torpedo level super fatty. That's why I crammed it in that pocket so you can see how thick that pocket gets. Those are your favorite strippers. I kind of like the Crocs more. These are nice though. These are really nice for the price. I feel like they replace needle nose. You just got to bust that tab off so they don't get hung up. These are very nice for the price. I'm an electrician, but an inspector made an electrical guru. Guys, NC code book it out. Down to memory, yeah. Maybe you can show it tomorrow's nice. Yeah, I can do that. You can do it all. Milwaukee 6-in-1 and the Kleins, yeah. Cool, man. All right. That's all we got. There we go. Appreciate all the support. See you guys later.